Most important of all, Aronda was among those that understood very well our 4 ideological principles and the 3 historical missions. It is those officers that fully understand our involvement in South Sudan, Congo, Somalia, etc. Therefore, General Aronda was outstanding on ideology, discipline, but also management skills. He took the lead in starting the Wazalendo Circle. We had talked about this, but it had not been implemented. I don't know why. You can discuss it in your meeting. In conclusion, 3 points. All armies in history have and had historical missions. The head of the British Army in the Second World War, if my memory still serves me well, was a field marshal going by the title of the Chief of the Imperial General Staff, CIGS. His names were Alan Brooke. What was the mission of that army, of the British Army? You hear his title, Chief of Imperial General Staff. That is his. Open, it's not hidden even. And he's not ashamed. So, I am here to colonize other people. He's not ashamed. You think they would hide it or something? No, no. Amevaa kwamba ndio anatawala watu wa ulimwengu. Wewe unataka nini na watu wa ulimwengu? His names were Alan Brooke. What was the mission of that army? To colonize, subjugate, and exploit the backward peoples of the world that were led by stupid, narrow-minded, and selfish kings like ours here in Uganda. Field Marshal Zhukov headed the Red Army in the Second World War. What is its historical mission? What was its historical mission? To liberate the peasants and the workers of Russia from feudalism and defend Russia against the imperialists that wanted to subjugate their country. What was the historical mission of the Continental Army of Washington? You remember also Washington had an army called the Continental Army. To get rid of the British king that was taxing the white settlers, mainly British, without allowing them to elect their representatives, the Boston Tea Party. That was the historical mission. What was the historical mission of the King's African Rifles that was baptized as Uganda Rifles at independence and quickly renamed Uganda Army? To be agents of foreign interests. In Tanzania, Madam Nyerere managed to reorganize the colonial Tanganyika Rifles into TPDF after their mutiny of 1964. In Uganda, that was never done. Hence, all the problems we had with that small army of 8,000 by 1971 and 20,000 by 1979. It was therefore imperative that we build an army of a new type, patriotic, Pan-Africanist, working for socio-economic transformation of our society and for people's power through democracy. Therefore, the second point is that people like General Aronda, educated and from the oppressed masses, came forward to join the resistance we had initiated right from the student days. Their education and ability to write and read documents in English quickly qualified them to work in the intelligence and the political sections of the army. Some like Tinyefuza, Magara, Tumwine, Tumukunde Henry, Sande Mukuru, etc. also took on combat roles early in the fighting. As already pointed out above, even the PCs, having undertaken command courses after the NRM came to power, were able to fill the gaps created by the massive death caused by natural causes among the historical combat commanders. The UPDF, NRA, FRONASA were able to, broadly speaking, maintain its trajectory of launching Uganda on the path of liberation. 3, and finally, in spite of the achievements scored, I have noticed some weaknesses, especially corruption and inadequate training. There have been cases of stealing army fuel, army rations, pension money, allowances and salaries, and corruption in the selection of personnel to go to external missions, such as Somalia. The disaster we had some time ago in one of the defended positions where we lost 57 soldiers was apparently caused by this type of corruption. Of course, the majority of the army are clean. That is how we end up getting this information. I get this information because even small soldiers can come and sneak to me and tell me. Then I call the commanders and tell them. That's how we end up getting this information. There is also the misuse of army resources. The present CDF started fighting that some time ago when he took over the command of SFC and the land forces. He was able to use the money that was being misused to build barracks for soldiers. He may not talk about it because he may not want to boast, but I know. That's why I appointed him as Commander of Land Forces. Because when I made him commander of SFC, there was money being used as airtime, that is called airtime. Airtime. So if he wants, he can tell you how he converted airtime into barracks without new money, but he was able to use the money that was being misused to build barracks for soldiers. As we remember, the patriotic commanders, such as the late General Aronda Nyakayiriima, you need to touch among yourselves and find out these elements that cause this pollution. I call it pollution. Should not exist in it. I have heard stories about pension, about allowances, professional allowances. That like me, when Museveni, I say I'm a professional because I'm a storyteller. And the man is going for that. The fuel, the army was getting fuel from petrol stations. Why would the army get fuel from petrol stations? There should be army petrol stations in the barracks. You need to touch among yourselves and find out these elements that cause this pollution. The failure by some commanders to implement the NRA collective welfare formulae is also a mistake. Because, you know, when we came from the bush, the challenge we had was, how do you defend a country without money, without enough money? And our answer was initially volunteerism. You come and we defend our country. When we get money later, we shall see how to support you. But in the meantime, there are welfare needs. Education for the soldiers, the children of soldiers. Health, accommodation. Now our answer was, let's have collective solutions. Let's build army schools where the children of soldiers can study free. Yes, I'm getting zero salary, but my child is studying free. That's good. At least my child will not corner because I'm getting zero salary. Health, I am getting free treatment from the medical center. Barracks, I'm not staying in a Muzugo. Because they have built barracks, and I'm staying near the workplace. This was our guidelines in 1986, but much of it is never implemented. And that's how you get all these problems. Like the other boy who killed our minister, Okero Ngora, that he was getting allowances for being a bodyguard. If you are going to get allowances for being a bodyguard, how about the ones in Congo? Why would they not get allowances? And you who is riding around in Kampala, you get allowances. For what?